So those of you that know me know that I love a good thrift store, and those of you that don't know me, well, I love a good thrift store. 2 months ago, I had the pleasure of heading up to Mayfield, a small farming settlement and self-proclaimed second-hand capital of New Zealand, to visit their one second-hand store. Admittedly, it is a really good second-hand store for a town so small. They had all the classic clothes and knickknacks, but that wasn't why I was there. Oh no, I put my nose to the ground and tail in the air to see if I could sniff out some crime. After locking away Old Man Jenkins for his nefarious plot to scare away the townsfolk so that he could develop the land into a new mall, I stumbled upon a box of old cameras and took 2 as payment for my service to the township. The more notable of the 2, because it's the one this video is about, was the Olympus AZ-300 Superzoom. Introduced in 1988, it was part of the Infinity AZ series, and it is believed to have essentially kickstarted the bridge camera genre. The AZ-300 sports a built-in 38 to 105mm zoom lens and a viewfinder that zooms in parallel with the lens, which was pretty nifty for its time. Fast forward to a couple of days ago. After buying yet another camera, I realized that I hadn't given a majority of my cameras a test run, so I popped a roll of my favorite film, Kodak's Ultramax 400, in the AZ-300 and headed off to the botanical gardens in the hopes of catching the spring flowers in some golden hour glory. I don't actually know how this works.
Great.
Unfortunately, the universe had other plans in mind. We, like the rest of those who stood up to God, were washed away in the righteous downpour. Alright, let's get home. Let's get home. That was a wild success. Later on in the evening, as I was popping on my Scroogean nightgown in the preparation for bed, I noticed a creature lumbering across my backyard. As I rushed to snap a picture of it, I realized that it was none other than Bigfoot's less notable cousin, Smallcock. In all seriousness though, this photo, as well as this one, were both taken at nighttime with a flash about 2.5 and 1.5 meters away from the subject respectively. Obviously, when you take a photo with a flash at different distances, it's gonna turn out different, but I thought they both had a nice quality about them. Just an observation. The following morning, I woke up to beautiful sunshine, and the following morning I woke up to God, passing in my cornflakes for a second day in the row. But, joke's on them, I needed a hearty breakfast. Oh, okay, I guess I took it. Nice.
What are you doing?
Taking photos. After being grilled by the head of the neighborhood watch, not wanting ruffians such as myself in her pristine, white picket fence neighborhood, we bounced and went to catch up with Fagin and the rest of the gang. Hopefully, a headless horseman doesn't come out of the mist and run me down while I'm in the middle of the road. The AZ-300 has a range of modes such as macro, portrait, and even a feature that lets you take double exposures, which I didn't actually try out. I don't know if it was solely macro mode, the fact that it was super foggy but really bright at the same time, or a combination of them both, but the autofocus took a really long time to focus and sometimes didn't even focus, resulting in this shot. Admittedly, 1 out of 24 shots being out of focus is a better ratio than I normally get when I'm shooting manual focus, but at least when I miss focus manually, I do it quickly. The lack of explicit control over shutter speed and aperture was frustrating because I didn't want to be switching modes for every single picture I made. Between that and the nature of the day we were shooting in, a lot of my pictures did come out feeling flat and overexposed. Thanks to the innovation of Jesus. So I do genuinely appreciate the fact that the maximum focal length is longer than that of a average point and shoot. Even sometimes on my SLR I find myself wishing I could get a tighter frame, but I've got no physical way to get closer to the subject. So I feel like that maximum focal length would come in handy in situations like that. Once again, compared to a standard 35mm point and shoot, the AZ-300 does have pretty decent functionality. For example, its portrait mode does a really good job with the depth of field, and if you were someone who wasn't completely confident in shooting an SLR, then this could be for you. But the flip side of this is, by having a camera that can just create that portrait look for you, you don't learn how to create that look yourself. And when it comes time to move on to an SLR, you'll be lost because you never learned the fundamentals. If you had just taken time to learn the basics and build on those foundations and make mistakes, you would be a lot better off than if you had just played it safe and let the camera do the work for you. If the pursuit of knowledge is a journey, then mistakes are just stepping stones along the way. Now, aside from all that, the autofocus, like many early forms of technology, leaves a wee bit to be desired in some situations, but it's mostly all good. And the biggest negative for me, the shutter button is the most dissatisfying button I have ever had the displeasure of using. It is so unresponsive, you can't even tell if a photo's been taken. Like, check. Like, compared to something like this, so good. At the end of the day though, it takes a decent enough photo and you can't fault it there. Would I recommend this camera instead of an SLR? Absolutely not. Would I recommend this camera as a bridge between a point and shoot and an SLR? Probably not, if I'm being honest. If you don't make mistakes, you're not going to learn, and growth starts at the end of our comfort zone. So get out there, run free, make mistakes, ruin a whole roll of Portra 400, who cares? As long as at the end of the day, you're happy with where you're at, and you're further along than where you were when you woke up, it's a good day. So finally, would I recommend you use the Olympus AZ-300 if you had literally nothing else to make pictures with? That's a good one, I can tell. Camera told me, I got a feeling. Oh.
You're such a loon.
I'm interested to see, because put that there. Thank you guys so much for watching. As much as I did bag on this camera, it was a bunch of fun to shoot with, and like, how could you hate anything that looks this goofy? I mean, come on. The photos from this video, as well as some more photos that I took with this camera, are going to be up on my Instagram at KieranJDodd. Link is in the bio, so be sure to check that out. And be sure to subscribe to keep up to date with all the videos I'll be dropping and content I'll be producing. Until next time, take care.